Welcome back to the Heart Path, where self-discovery, alignment, and living with intention is explored. I'm Nicola Spencer. I'm going to get rid of that one. Welcome to the Heart Path podcast, your space to realign, reconnect, and rise. I'm Nicola Spencer. I'm a thought leader, a coach in women's confidence, an NLP practitioner, a human design specialist, teacher, and coach. And I'm here to help women in their 40s and 50s rediscover their purpose, find the joy in the chaos, and rise into their next chapter with confidence and grace. Together, we'll explore stories, strategies, and soulful insights to help you embrace your true self and step into a life you love. This is where we let go of limits, redefine what's possible, and thrive in every season of life. It's your time to rise. Are you ready?
This is my moment, my heart's design. I rise and thrive, the world is mine. On the heart path, where dreams take flight, I shine my brightest, my guiding light.
Welcome back to the Heart Path, where we explore self-discovery, alignment, and living with intention. I'm Nicola Spencer, and today we're talking about a conversation that's deeply personal to me. It is all about being invisible, and especially when you're in your 40s and 50s, it can be easy to feel like that. I personally didn't really probably feel like that, like I'm until probably about the middle of last year, where I kind of really, the first time I had a feeling of this, when I thought that it wasn't just me. Okay, if that makes sense. So I'll tell you about it. I was 54, and like throughout my life, I've kind of always felt as if like I was a bit invisible somewhere along the line, for something. But at the same time, I thought, oh, everyone would feel like this at some stage because, they didn't get noticed or something like that. And I just thought that was just part of life. And it probably is. But this specific time last year really got me thinking about, like how easy it is for women, especially, I feel, to become invisible. So I decided to join a gym, and I hadn't joined a gym for quite a few years, and I'd kind of got myself to the point where I was like, I'm not ever going to join a gym again. It's not for me. I'll just do exercising when I want, where I want, type of thing. But I joined this gym because they had a Pilates studio there, and it was cheaper to join the gym than go to another Pilates studio, which was, paid by session, whereas this was a gym, just pay per year. I paid annual or weekly, and it was much cheaper. So the whole process of this was vastly different to when I'd joined a gym previously, because it was all online. You just had to fill it in. The contract was, I don't even know it was delivered to the email, but anyway, the contract everything was all online, all technology. And then you had to go into the gym to get your little tag. So I went in and signed the form that you had to do. They gave me the tag, but this whole process, it sounds very simple. There were probably about 3 or 4 people behind the desk, and those, every single one of them served me at some stage. And it was because I was in the middle of doing something, the phone rang. So the person that I was helping me went to answer the phone. Well, the other girls were just standing around, but anyway. And then I was just left standing there. So the girl had got off the phone, and she was saying to someone else, oh, can you fix up this lady? She's here to do a contract. And this kind of went on. Other people came in, and they served them while I was, and I don't remember it being as if I was like, it was too long. There was just a form I had to fill out. It was an online form. sign it, get my tag. And anyway, so we did that. And then they were like, oh, here's your tag. You can come back whenever, it'll be activated in 24 hours, those kinds of things. And I said, okay. And I stood there. And then she said, oh, is there anything else we can help you with? And I said, well, don't I get a tour? Because in my mind, I would have thought that would be one of the most things that's the most important in the whole process, getting a tour. And in the last couple of gyms that I had joined, there was a tour. So then another person came, and they got another person. Can you give this lady a tour? So in this whole process, I've spoken to probably 4 or 5, maybe 4 or 5 different people behind the desk. Not one of them have used my name, even though I'm here to fill out a contract. And seemed like it was like no one gave any thought to the value that I placed, and even showing me around was an imposition. So, without sounding like really judgmental or anything, but these were young girls in their 20s, and obviously I wasn't a priority to them. So one of them did show me around. So we went out into the gym part, and she told me, all we literally did, the whole thing took 5 minutes, not even. This is where this is where this is, this is where this is. It was like that. So this gym is 2 stories. So we went up to the second part. She showed me where the Pilates studio was, and then we went around a corner, and she said, this is where the free weight section is. Not that you'll probably use that, or words to those effect. And at this point, I already felt as if I was not valued, and I was really second guessing my decision to join a gym. The reason I hadn't joined a gym last time was because I had been treated badly by the previous gym. So I just thought, here you are, a young 20-something, and, beautiful hair, eyelashes, lips, all those kinds of things. And she's telling me that I wouldn't be using the weight section. Now, probably I wouldn't use the weight section, but that's not her call. Then she said, okay, that's it. And I said, all right. I said, well, where's the toilet? Where's the showers? She hadn't even shown me any of that. Oh, okay, I'll show you. So we had to go back downstairs. She showed me. And then she went. And that kind of really, made me think. I got back in the car, and I just sat there, and I thought, what just happened? If this was, if I wasn't who I was, and I wasn't a strong woman who really knows my place in the world, I wouldn't have gone back. That's how bad the experience was. It was so bad. People would not have gone back. And then when I went a couple of weeks later, there was, I don't know, it was the same people, no idea. I've gone to scan my thing to go in, and as I've gone in, I was wearing slides, and this girl says to me, oh, you've got, you're not allowed to wear those shoes in here. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, I'm just going to Pilates, I'm not working out. And I said, these are just easy to wear. And she said, oh, I realise that, but you have to wear covered shoes. I said, oh, okay. I said, I wasn't aware. And the first thing she said to me was, well, didn't you read your contract? And it was so rude, the way she said it. She probably didn't mean it to sound rude, but again, I felt as if, I'm a human being. I'm wearing shoes because I'm only going to Pilates. I didn't realise I had to wear covered in shoes. Plus, I'm not actually going through to the free weight section. Where I was walking to, there was nowhere where anything really could fall on my foot. But anyway, and so, I said to her, well, of course I have read the contract. I said, I read the contract, but I didn't see anything in there about footwear. So it was just those two little things that really put a bit of a bad taste in my mouth about going. It didn't stop me. I went for 6 months non-stop, and I haven't actually been much so far this year, but we're only into March, so but I certainly have got my money's worth from the Pilates. But yeah, it's those kinds of things that happen that make you really feel as if like I could really see how people could really be devalued. I felt devalued. I felt as if I wasn't important, and I certainly did question this, but at the same time I felt, wow, I've got to 54, and this is the first time that I've really felt this, and I knew other women would have felt this many other times. Okay, so that's my personal story, and this is when this has become a passion for me, because I don't want to feel invisible. I don't really want other women to feel invisible. I want us to step into the power of who we are. Okay. So when I realized this, the thing that I started to think is that it really starts from within. Now, I have already had a strong sense of self. I had a strong idea of who I was in my world, and I had claimed my space in the world. I walk confidently wherever I go. But if you haven't claimed your space in the world, and if you do not walk confidently wherever you go, and you're second guessing yourself, the world won't wait for you. Okay, and if you don't claim your space, this is how you do feel, as if you do become invisible. So this is what we're going to talk into today, how to help you shift that feeling of invisibility and remind you that you have never been more powerful, more needed, more valuable, and more aligned than what you could be right now. Okay, so it is small steps and I'm so grateful that when that gym incident happened to me, that I was already on this journey, because I could have easily just gone in my car, sat in my car, thought to myself what had happened, driven away, and never even come back, because that's how it felt. Yeah. Okay, so why does this happen? So for many years, there's been a shifting of roles, and we've been defined for us as we are, through our 20s and 30s, 40s even maybe, we've been defined by what we do for others. And we've been caregivers, mothers, problem solvers, the go-to person, whatever it has looked like for you. As you get older, especially if you have children, these roles shift, because you are not as needed, or you're not really the problem solver for your children anymore, because they've got experiences in their own life which they can call on, which can solve problems for them. And when these shifts happen in our life and these roles change, there can be lots of shifts. And one of the things that can happen is you can feel as if like the tethering reins have been let go of you, and you're drifting in the ocean, kind of like looking for somewhere to land, and you feel like really unmoored, as if you just drifting, and maybe you don't have a like, I don't know what it's called for, but if you were a plane, a flight plan, maybe you don't have a flight plan, and a ship would have I don't know what they'd have now that I've used that analogy. A sailing plan, I don't know, embarkment, or I don't know. I don't know what it's called. Embarkment's when you get off. Anyway, you know where I'm going. So you can feel like really unmoored, and you're just drifting, and you're just waiting for something to show up to, be the lighthouse on a piece of land that you can head towards. And maybe you're stepping back. So as we get older, as our children get older, maybe you might take a step back from full-time work and you become a part-time employee. And just by doing that, it means that at work you're roles may change at work because you're not there every day, so you can't be the go-to person for whatever it was you used to be the go-to person, and someone else will step up to that. And this can happen in a very, slow and kind of like it might evolve, because you, in one way, you're taking a step back because you want the extra freedom in your life and you don't want to work for 5 days a week. But at the same time, this is an unexpected thing that could happen as you do this, because you have always been at your role at work. You might have always been the go-to person for something, and you've stepped back, and your role at the workplace changes. You don't become that person anymore because you're not there every day, and you might start to feel as if you're irrelevant. And whilst on one hand you've got, you really want to reduce the amount of time you're working, at the other hand, you probably didn't expect that the flow-on effect of that would be that you might be starting to feel as if you're not as valued anymore. And, these are the kind of things, I guess, that help give us all these messages that, we are invisible, we're not as valued. And it's not that you're not valued at your workplace, it's just that the roles have changed. And I've been at the school that I work at now for a long time, and I've gone from periods of working full-time to part-time. And when you are working part-time and you come back in, you feel as if like there is part of it that people are talking about, that, hey, that happened the other day when you weren't there, and you don't know what it is. So I guess it's about you managing your expectations of you reaching a point in your life where you can make a change, but also realizing that because you've made that change, other things would happen as well. And we also live in a culture that really does celebrate youth. And, we are strong women. We are rising into the season of where we are. And we are the people we are today because of all of the experience that we've had in the past. But that kind of gets forgotten about. And our wisdom doesn't get valued. Our experience doesn't get valued. And, those of us that have got kids who are in their late teens, early 20s, certainly have been through that stage where we were the go-to person for our kids, and they always wanted to. They asked us questions, and then there was a period of time, and I'm still going through it, I guess, with my boys as well, where they don't think our opinion matters at all. They don't see the wisdom, the experience. They don't think that we've lived through the same experience that they're living through now. So when we have something to contribute to their conversation, it might not necessarily get valued because, we're old, that kind of thing, and what would you know? And yes, times have changed. Okay, that's what's going to happen from generation to generation. But this is how the anti-aging thing comes in. And we can get caught in the cycle of this. And talking about anti-aging, when you go to the shops, or you're buying creams or something for your face, and the anti-aging creams are there, and this is as if like growing old is something which is we shouldn't be doing. It's something we can fix, and we can't fix it. And why would we want to fix it? Yes, sure, we can buy a cream which might mean we're less saggy in the face, or something like that, but we have such a huge amount of wisdom. Let's celebrate it. Okay, we don't want to really be put in the too old basket by people who are only just starting out their life. Yeah. So there's also, I guess I've spoken about this in other podcasts as well. We also have this internal struggle of being the people pleaser. And if we don't do this, and if we don't do that, and there's going to be all this self-doubt coming on to us, because for like a lot of our lives, especially our mothering lives, we've been putting people first, and we've been doing this for everything, and now we don't need them. Well, sorry, now they don't need us, I should say. And we still kind of keep up in our people-pleasing way because it's how we've always moved through life. And they might not need us as much So then the self-doubt comes in because we are so used to putting other people's first, and we're starting to shrink back that we think, where are we? And we believe that we don't deserve to be here anymore. We don't deserve to take up this space because people don't need us anymore. We're useless. Okay, and that's not what I want for anybody. And here's the truth about the situation. Okay, you are not disappearing. You are evolving, and you get to decide how this next chapter unfolds. Okay, it really is an exciting time when you get into the process of it. So I have 5 steps for you, and this is 5 steps on how you can reclaim your visibility, and in the same time really reclaiming your self-worth as well. So the first one, step 1, is rewriting the narrative. So what if instead of fading away, this was the time that you stepped into your full power? And this is a part of this is recognizing the signs. And, but if you go through this podcast, hopefully there's some things in there that as I'm talking, you'll think, oh, yes, that's me, that's me, that's me. And these are the signs that you are ready to rewrite your narrative. Okay, so part of that is reframing questions that you ask yourself. If you start to hear that negative self-talk coming in, catch yourself doing it, okay, and reframe it. And then say it in a positive way, okay? So as you're reframing the question, ask yourself, what have I always wanted to do but held back on? Okay, because you are in a time of your life now where you don't have to be there for everybody. Your children have some independence. And they are finding their own way in the world now. So now it's time for you, okay? And what have I always wanted to do but held back on? Okay, that's a really great question to ask yourself. And then another one is to ask yourself about what strengths and skills that you have developed over the years that you can share. And this could be sharing them in, if you're looking for, to like reduce the amount of hours you have at work, but then what are you going to do with that time? And maybe you might join a community group where it's a craft group or something that you've got skills that you can develop and you can spend more time with that community. Okay, so these are just some little ideas on helping you identify where it is that you can rewrite the narrative for going forward. Okay, because there's been a lot of things that have happened in the past that are conditioning your thoughts, and we want to rewrite that. Okay, so step number 2 is embody your presence. How do you physically show up in the world? Okay, this is a really great question to ask yourself. So I've already mentioned it earlier in this podcast. So I know that I've claimed my space in the world. When I am out in the community, I stand tall, I've got my shoulders back, I walk with confidence, and I can speak clearly and communicate anything that I want to communicate. Okay, it's really important for me to make eye contact. One of my highest values is connection, and when I'm talking with someone, I really like to feel as if part of the connection that I make with that person is because I'm really listening to them and I'm making eye contact. And I feel as if this is something that you may not be able to do if you don't really have that strong sense of identity of who you physically are. And one of the other things that I like to do is I like to make sure that when I am going out that I am looking good. Okay, so although in saying that, there's always that one time when you just nip down to Woolworths after you've been cleaning the house and guaranteed you'll see someone down there. But, I like to wear bright colours that light me up, colours that I feel good in, and clothes that make me feel good as well. So that makes me stand up taller and walk with confidence. Now, people will mirror the energy that you give off, and if you start to shrink, they won't see you. Okay, so if you imagine that they're a mirror, they're looking at you, they will mirror the energy that you have. But if you start to shrink, there's nothing for them to see. Okay, so you need to stand in your power, otherwise no one will notice you. Step 3 is own your strength and speak up. Now, what are you bringing to the table? Okay, so you have probably been working in a career for a while that you have strengths, and you may not even realize some of the strengths that you have. So write it down. Write down at work. What are all of the things that you do at work? And these are little jobs that as you go through and you pick things, you might think, oh, actually, I'm really good at organizing things, because that might be one of your core roles, but you've never really looked at it this way before. And think about what you're really good at. Okay, so there's kind of 2 lists here that could evolve into one list. So if you're at work, what are the jobs that you do, and then really think about what are the strengths within that job. And then you might want to think about what things that you know already that you are really good at, things that you've mastered and things that you've refined yourself. Okay, and this could be through life experience, resilience of bouncing back all the time, every time you've gone through this trial and error period, and certainly the wisdom that we have in our older age being brought to the forefront here. Okay, so what do you bring to the table? And this could form who you are. This could form your identity in terms of the role model that you want to be. And this is also a time when I can highly encourage you to work out your top 5 values. When you have your top 5 values dialed in, you really actually do start to live to those values. And if you want help with that, in the show notes, I'll pop in the show notes the link to my free values ebook. It's a short process that you can go through, and once you know them. Personally, if I didn't have my values, I would not be where I am today. They are just like the core of everything that I do. Step 4, change your inner dialogue. Okay, so how many times have you thought things like, I'm too old for that? Okay, if you have, change it to, I have never been more ready. I'm past my prime. Change it to, I am in my power. I don't belong here. Change it to, I am exactly where I'm meant to be. Now, these are powerful words, and the way you talk to yourself is shaping how you show up. So an example is my mum. I will often use my mum as an example, because she has been one of the greatest teachers in my life, and I often look and see things in her that I do not want for me. Okay, so she's obviously taught me a lot, but she also still teaches me things on what I want for my life. And she's about to turn 80 this year, and she has she often will say things like, at my age, it's okay. It almost things like along the lines of, at my age, it's okay for me to do, whatever. And it's not that it's okay for her to do whatever she wants. It's because she's limited to the ability of what she can do. Okay, so her mobility, and she's accepted it. She's accepted that the stage where she is now is where she should be for an 80-year-old. But I also have had in my life a grandmother who lived till she was nearly 102, who right up until just a few days before her death was mobile, she lived in her own home, that she was doing chores around the house, that she was going shopping weekly, and those kinds of things. So I think it's easy to get caught in the trap of accepting that you are too old for that. Okay, I really want you to change that narrative, change this negative self-talk, and look at how you can improve the situation that you are in. Okay, now step 5 take up space. Okay, so I've already spoke a little bit about this, but these are some practical exercises that you can do. In the morning, set a bold intention for the day and something that makes you feel alive and engaged. And this can be, setting, if you do like practice gratitude, it can be before you even get out of bed, and, you wake up and have some deep breaths and then think about, what am I going to do today? And something that makes you feel alive and engaged. Okay, how am I going to feel today? And wear something that makes you feel powerful. Okay, so I have some outfits in my wardrobe that I know when I wear them, I really feel as if I am 100% top-notch confidence, because I know that I look good. Okay, so delve into your wardrobe, see what's there, what colours, what might stretch your boundary. Okay, often when I wear something, and if it's new, if I wear something and I wear it and I don't feel good throughout the day, I know that probably that's nothing that I'm going to wear again. Okay, so that doesn't happen very often, but every now and then it'll come up that there'll be something which I think is okay, and then I'll wear it and it doesn't really light me up. So I don't wear that again, because I like to always wear things that make me feel confident. Now, the next one's an important one. Say yes to something outside your comfort zone. Okay, so like I was just talking about with your wardrobe, maybe there's something in there like a nice shirt that you've always loved. You've never worn it because it is a colour that you wouldn't normally wear. Wear it. Okay, that's something out of your comfort zone, and it'll be interesting to see, if you do that, what the feedback is from the people, because people that if you go to work wearing something you don't normally wear, someone will say, wow, that's a nice colour, or they'll say something about it. Okay, so I'm encouraging you to take one action this week that makes you feel seen, and whether it's speaking up in a meeting, sharing something in social media, or initiating a new conversation with someone. Okay, someone you've just met, initiating a conversation with that person. Just one little thing that makes you feel as if you are being seen, someone's listening to you, and that you are taking up space and you're feeling empowered. Okay, so everything I do has a human design lens on it, and this one in particular is really important. It's realigning with your human design. Okay, so human design is one of my favorite tools for stepping into your visibility as a wonderful woman that you are. And because, here's the thing, so not everyone's meant to show up in the same way, and your energy type plays a huge role in how you will naturally shine. There's different energy types, and depending on what energy type you have, it really depends on how you are meant to show. Okay, so if you are a manifesting generator or a generator, I'm a manifesting generator, I thrive when I follow what excites me. Okay, so if you're a manifesting generator or generator, you also will thrive when you follow what excites you. Stop dimming your light for others. So, if you start to hear people giving you negative thoughts about, why do you always do that, or, that's not interesting, just because it might not be for them, it doesn't mean that it's not for you. Okay, so we don't want you to dim your light because of what other people are saying. And when you do what lights you up, people will notice. Okay, so it's really important that you really do feel into and do the passion of what lights you up. If you are a projector, you're designed to be recognised, but to be recognised by other people, you need to be recognised by yourself first. And this is really important. Honour your wisdom and trust that the right people will see you. If you are a manifestor, you are born to initiate. And if you've been holding back on yourself, ask yourself this question: where can I step into my leadership again? Okay, and if you are in the time of your career where you have gone from full-time to part-time, and you feel as if at work you're not really the leader anymore, ask yourself where you can be. okay? Because the time that you are at work, if it's important to you to be a leader, there would be something you can do that makes you feel as if you are the leader again. Now, if you are a reflector, you are constantly evolving. A reflector is an energy type that kind of follows the moon cycles, and this is your gift. And instead of feeling lost, embrace your ability to see the world differently and reflect that back. Okay, reflectors aren't called reflectors for any reason. It's specifically because reflectors do reflect back to us a lot of what we see in ourselves. Okay, so I want you to understand that you are naturally designed to shine, and if that has piqued your interest and you are wondering what your energy type is and how it could work for you, I encourage you to book a human design reading with me. The booking will be in the show notes. All it will take is a very short Thrive discovery call. That's free, and then we can get you on your way with a human design reading. Okay, so I'm just going to remind you that you don't need permission to take up space. You are here to be seen, heard, and valued, but the first step is this. You have to see yourself first. I can't stress this enough. It is really important to honour the beautiful person that you are now in your 40s or 50s. You have to believe that your presence matters, because it absolutely does. But here's the truth. We are stronger than ever. The years of wisdom we've gained through the ups and the downs of life have shaped us into the beautiful, resilient, powerful women that we are now. And just like the seasons of our lives are meant to change, spring becomes summer, summer becomes autumn, and so do we. Yet in each season there's beauty, growth, and strength. And even when the world makes us feel unseen, undervalued, or stuck, we have the power to rise in to our fullest potential. So tell me, what's one way you're going to step into visibility this week? I'd love you to share in the comments. If you have liked this episode, like and subscribe, and then you'll never miss an episode. Okay, thank you again. Follow your heart, trust the path, and remember, the magic is in the moments in between.